I decided to make a showreel generator in VFX Spotlight to take the pain out of making a showreel. Well, at least I find it a pain. It takes me about a day and a half to make my showreel, and that's probably why I've only ever made one showreel. So this is how it's going so far. You have a showreel tab in your profile, and in this showreel tab at the top you can see the create showreel buttons dimmed out because there's no clips, or the clips don't meet the minimum length requirement, which is I think 10 seconds, and then there's a maximum of 3 minutes or something. You don't really want a showreel longer than that, I figure. I hope I'm right. So I'm going to add a few clips. I'm just going to add those 3. You can change the order of the clips. You can decide whether you want to include sound, which I don't think is a great idea unless it's lip sync or something like that. But anyway, yeah, let's put that one back up the top. Okay, and you can put in a description here. It doesn't really matter what you want, whatever you want to put. It's the purpose is to have something overlaid on the image. I'll do something for Troy as well, and for Sea Monsters. You can also clip into these, trim into these clips, because it might not be. You probably want an edit. I just want one shot from this, really. The one that ends, the one at the start. That's it. And let's just bring it into about there. Same with this. It's only really where he starts shooting the gun that I want to show, and maybe a couple of shots until he jumps off the bridge. This is just one shot, but I don't need 400 frames. We can just go from about there to, let's go about 4 seconds or so. Okay, so now we've got 20 seconds of footage. You'll notice here there's story link, which means that you can ultimately this showreel is going to make its own story, and it will have a little bit of info underneath about, basically have these descriptions underneath as well as overlaid on the actual movie, and there's the opportunity to have a read more link, and the read more will go to an existing story or a new story if you want, but as an existing story that is in this case a deep dive into what went into making the voxelizer for Kushal job. Same with Troy, the crowd simulation stuff. I can put a link to the article that's all about Troy, that talks about all the people involved in the whole R&D effort. Same here for Sea Monsters. So over here on the left, you've got these 2 tabs. Clips we've already seen. We don't need clips anymore. And then this tab is just the kind of global settings for the whole showreel. It's picked up my job functions, which will go on the title card, and it will make a showreel called R&D Showreel 2026. We'll see that in a sec. And then the resolution, I'm going to take this away because I'm only going to do 1080p, I think. But unless anyone's got any objections, you can output, if you're only doing PAL. If you've only got PAL shots, you may as well set the output to PAL. I'll probably make that automated. But if you've got a mix of shots, it's going to never drop frames or add frames or anything like that. It will always just use the frames, and the shot will be retimed a little bit to match. That's about it. You can show your email on the contact card, or you can choose not to. I'm going to leave that there for the minute. And that's about it. Because this didn't go over 3 minutes, the Create Showreel button is available. I'm going to hit that. You get a little validation screen that shows you what font's going to be used, the total time, including the intro and contact cards at the end. And just to make sure that everything's in order before you hit the continue button. So I'll hit continue right now. And what should happen is, it's on the back end, it's collecting all the assets from where they're stored and putting them together. So the reason I'm making this little, heads up about this kind of work in progress is because I want to get some ideas. If anyone's got any input about what makes an impactful kind of order of shots, if there's any, I'm kind of wondering if there's a way to use AI to extract some of these descriptions from the shot and from the fact that it knows that I'm an R&D programmer, and I don't know if that's possible or not. It's not that much hassle to write 3 lines anyway. But there could be, if you've got a show reel with 20 shots, I don't know, maybe AI could go in and analyze them and figure out what the best order is or whatever. Also, any other ideas about transitions or anything, what makes a good show reel. So that looks like it's done. And now you can view the story that it created around that movie. It's a bit slow to refresh pages on my development build here. So let's turn off. Because it's my story, I'm in edit mode, and you might also notice that it's in draft, which means no one can see it until I publish it, except me. And so here's the show reel. You can see the overlay was put on down the bottom. I'll press play, but you probably don't want to watch the whole thing. And you can go full screen here if you want. Notice that the shots are numbered down in the bottom right corner there. That relates to, when I scroll up in a minute, I'll go to, did that wrong. Anyway, so on the end screen, you've got a QR code that goes back to my profile. Now, if I scroll up, as I was saying, the shots are numbered, you get a little sort of shot breakdown, which again shows those descriptions and has a read more link. So I'll go through to, I don't know, I don't know what's at this link, but there's probably some lorem ipsum stuff or something being my development build, but let's have a look. Anyway, this is another story that's just all about this one little bit. So if you've got a recruiter and they come along and say, oh, I really like the look of that shot, then they can go and find out exactly what went on, who was involved, all the different characters involved, and stuff like that. So that's about it. Thanks for watching.